Hey friends, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. My wife on Saturday surprised me with the new Roland P-6, and so we're going to do a little bit of a first impressions and just kind of check out what we can do. I've only had it for a couple days, so as I work on it, if you've got any suggestions or questions about it, let me know in the chat. We're going to talk about a workflow that I'm developing. It's still early days. At first glance, there's a lot of similarities with the SP404. But as we get into it, there's actually some stuff you can do on here that you can't do on the 404 that I wish you could. And then there's obviously things you can do on the 404 that you just can't do on this. We're a little limited with one tiny little menu that has about 4 characters. So there is a lot of menu diving, as you can see on the options. But the workflow I'm going to be using today kind of negates a lot of that. We're not going to be touching like amp envelopes and stuff like that. We're going to just chop some samples that I made with the Logic session players. Which I have a lot of fun with those. I've got a live stream I did there, but I've learned a lot more after that with that. But here's the piano that we're going to be working with. I wanted to go with something a little jazzy for the flip. And then we've got this upright bass, which hopefully you can hear it. If I add some lo-fi, you should get some characteristics of it. And then we've got these drums. So if we play that all together, and I think that one is at 98 BPM, so let's set it to that just to start. So those are the samples we're going to work with. There's also some stock sounds that we've got that are kind of decent. This is a, what pattern is this? Yeah, this is one of the first beats I made on it. There's some cool stuff you can do. So we'll get into all the pattern stuff and things like that, but let's start by going to a new pattern. And it's blank, it's 16 bars, or 16 steps. And you can see if we get out of pattern, you can see it running, and then we can add steps and things like that if we need to, or duplicate it. But we'll start with that. Getting to the click track is a bit menu divey, and if you've watched the channel, you know I'm not the biggest fan of click tracks anyway, so I think we'll start with a hi-hat and just sequence that to be our kind of click track. That'll work. 98 BPM. Okay, let's check out the sounds we've got. Oh yeah, really quick. So the route for the live stream that we're going to do is go through the samples, do some sequencing. I actually think I'm going to add some color to the main sample first, but we'll do the drums first, chop up samples, and then at the end I'm going to talk kind of where I see this in my SP404 workflow, but also the differences there and things like that. Again, if you've got questions or anything like that, throw them in the chat and we'll get to it. All right, so we've got our hi-hat going. Let's go to those drums now. Here's the drums. So if you click it, it's going to play the whole track through unless you hit the gate, just like the SP. If you go to the keyboard, that's basically your chromatic mode. So we could just pitch up. And then if you want to stop a sample from playing, just hit Shift Exit, just like you would on the SP404. From there, though, there's actually a quick way to chop things. And so we're going to do that to get even chop. So we're going to go Shift and it's Voice, which is G. And you can see I was just checking it out beforehand for a different chop, but if you go, you get all these different options. We're going to go to chop. We're going to hit enter, which is C sharp. And let's set the drums to 16 maybe. That's probably the best way to go for that. I'm thinking 16 on the drums to really get it kind of like chopped up. All right, we'll back out of that. And then now if you just press it, it's only hitting one sound, and that's because it chopped everything up. So let's find a couple sounds we like. Oh, that actually works. Just seeing what else we got. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, now if we get out of the keyboard, you can see the step sequencer, and I find this step sequencer is a lot closer to something like the Digitakt than it is the SP404's TR Rec mode, which I actually really like because you can go in and do per step things and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. So here's the sequence we've got. So it's a little wonky, so I actually think we might just want to redo it, but let's see what we've got. If we hold each note down, we can actually see what note it's playing, and I think C4 is what we want there. Yeah, that's what it is. I see. Okay, so I'm just going to redo it. There we go. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll keep it a little safer on the play. Okay, here we go. Okay, so now we've got the basic sound. We can do some micro timing as we go. And then the other note we want is this one. There we go. Okay, so for some reason, programming it by hand messed with the quantize quite a bit, but now we've got it. Okay, so from there, let's go back to this original hi-hat that we made, and I'm actually going to go in and just add more notes. And then we can do, I don't know how much we want to do before we start getting the kind of sound in, but one thing that we can do, and it might already be set to auto pan because for the previous pattern I showed you, I had this one on auto pan. But I think if we go to, it's either mixer or voice, we'll find it. There it is, auto pan. Yeah, we can set it to random so that it bounces around. That is a nice little thing to have if you want the stereo field. I believe I'm actually in mono with this, so you might not actually hear it, but that's okay. We'll leave it at random, but actually, no, because if it is mono, we're going to get it weird stereo phasing. So we'll shut it off, and we'll leave it there. That works. There we go. Okay, so we've got that. Now what we can do is go into per step, and I don't actually know if you can hold multiple ones at once, but we'll go down and change each one to like 84 on, we don't want to get in the granular yet, into this. So that one's at, let's say 84. So we'll go here, go to velocity, 84. Again, you might be able to, like the Digitakt, where you hold it down and it will change it all the same, but I'm not sure, and I don't feel like experimenting with that. So that should give some flow to it. Okay, perfect. Now we might even want to make it lower or something like that. We can also go with the timings. And if we go back into this, hit granular, you can get all these different options. So we'll shift the timings a little bit here. We'll put that one on 4. And we'll go to this one, set it down a little bit. We can also, if we go into shift, we can add some shuffle. There we go. Let's up it a ton. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Now we're pretty much on even numbers, so I don't think it's going to affect it all that much till we start adding stuff. So let's just do a little bit and call it there. Okay, now from that, let's actually get into the sample. That's enough. We got a basic drum beat. That's all we really need to start with. But I am going to lower this down a little bit. And we'll add that lo-fi button, which will just bit crush it a little bit, give it that lo-fi. That button is one of the things I wish the 404 had, because the original one does, but the Mark II doesn't. But whatever. All right, so that sits a little better as a hi-hat with the rest of the track. We'll go with that from there. I may change the drum beat around a little bit, add some notes and stuff, but I just want to keep it simple for now. Okay, from there, we've got our piano. Now, when I put these samples in, they're a bit long, and you've got some time restrictions with what you can sample, but when you get into sample, and I've got the mic muted, but if I hit delete, you can hear the mic. We'll mute that though, so we're going to resample, so we want that muted. But now the lo-fi button is actually your different sample rates. Another feature I wish the Mark II had, because the older SPs like the 202 and 303 have it. Awesome that it's on here, but it's interesting, these differences. Like so many things that were on older SPs didn't get on this, and then now they're on this tiny $200 box. A little weird, but we'll do that. So I actually set the piano already to the 11 sample rate, but to get it to be long, we'll have to have it at that. Now, these buttons here are going to control if it's mono or stereo. If you do stereo, you get a lot less sample time. So we're going to do mono. This is technically mono anyways with the single cable I've got. You can also set the measure. So we're going to do 4. And then this is your threshold for sound. You can either have it sync or you can have it set to a threshold of like a level. When that level gets met, it starts recording. And then this one, I forget what this actually is, if it's gate or whatever. We'll see. We might have completely messed up what it's doing. I think it's the gain. Yeah, it's the gain. I think it's the gain. That's, again, one of the things. I really like this little sampler, and you'll see as we start building, there's a lot of sound design to it, but this, until you start wrapping your head around what all these things stand for, and I am building a cheat sheet out for this, but it takes a little time to kind of learn all the nuance and things like that. Anyways, from there, we're going to choose pad 3, and then we will arm it. Now you can see it's on standby, and now it's recording, and you can see the level it's actually hitting. I probably don't need to hold this. I'm just going to do it just in case. Now, I showed you all that, and I forgot to do what I was actually intending to, which was to add vinyl to this sample. But that's okay, because I can show you how to delete a sample if you don't like it. Just hit delete, choose the sample, done. Okay, so we've got effects just like on the 404, so I'm going to choose, we've got vinyl. Vinyl is always nice. Cassette's cool. Lo-fi's cool. I think we'll go with the vinyl. Just a little noise. A little filter. That's really gritting it up nice. We could also add the lo-fi, which adds that little bit crushed high pitched sound. If you hit, I think it's shift lo-fi, yeah, you can change the level of the lo-fi so you can get a lot less of it. But I think we'll shut it off for now. Just leave it off, because we've already got that vinyl sound and all that type of stuff. All right, from there, let's do that sampling bit again and hit shift exit to get that to stop. All right, so we're gonna set it to 11. Everything should still be set. We'll find out. We're gonna choose sample 3, arm it, and let's see. Perfect. Now it's gonna normalize it, write it. So it takes a couple seconds. Okay, there we go. So this is the original version. A little clean. That's the bass. Hear that grit we got? Little, almost like sand, grain, whatever you want to call it. We can still add the lo-fi on top. You hear it adds a lot of character, whatever you want to call it, to the high end when we do that. So we've got that. Okay, and it looks like 6 may have gotten sequenced on there. We're going to undo that, because what we're going to do now is stop that chaos. We're going to go, pad 3 is our new one, so we're going to go shift voice, and we're going to chop this one up, and let's do 8. So let's hear what that gives us. So if we get into the keyboard now, I like that. Ooh, kind of like that. Okay, so the D and D sharp don't work that well, but I really like that. Now, you may have noticed as it was running, that is actually probably 32 steps, so we're going to need to add or duplicate the steps we've got. So I'm going to go into pattern. I think, yeah, we're on 3-1, so we're going to go shift copy, I believe, move this to duplicate, and then we're going to duplicate it. So now it just took the 16 steps and made it 32. And if we go out of that and use this page, you can see now there's 2 little zeros, and that's our 2 separate pages. Now they're going to be exactly the same right now because we just duplicated it, but it's going to go for 2 now. If we get out of pattern, you can see it run, and then you won't see it run for the next one. There we go. I like that. Okay, now let's see what happens with that quantize. I might have just been playing the drums in bad at the start there, but we'll see what happens. So let's turn it on. We'll let it run through 1, because it's going to go to that 32. got a bit of a wrong note there at the second page, because we should actually want, it should be E. So I think we can actually go into the step sequencer and fix that. If we go to page 2, get out of that, hold this, I think, yeah, you can see what note that one is. So we want, I guess, E4. Oh, we don't want to drop the pitch. We are going to drop the pitch, though. I'm actually glad that reminded me. I think we have to use this one. And yeah, we're going to go E4. And let's see if that fixes it. I hope we're on page 2. Yeah, we were. Let's shut that off and see what happens. Oh, that's better. So just shut it. But that is how you change a step if you want to change the step that's going on. Which again, very much like the Digitakt with that, you can go into each step. You can even change the pitch per step. You can change levels. If you live record, you can do live automation. But I do want to actually change the pitch really quick, because I think... Oh, did that just... Whoa. I wonder if that's... Let's see what happens there. Maybe we have to record that in, actually. Oh, maybe because we already recorded it. I wonder if the pitch now needs to be motion set. So let's actually just undo that. We'll drop the pitch and we'll do it again. That's interesting. That's a new little finding there that I was not expecting. So that's very interesting. So let's go here. Let's drop the pitch. I like down 4. I think that sounds good. Let's turn on the keyboard and hear how it sounds. Yeah, I like that. So let's turn that on. Here we go. Whoa, it does not want to take that. Okay, it's crazy. So we'll have to just motion record it, I guess. Interesting little find. I might be missing something here that it's doing, but we'll just set the pitch once we record it. Actually, let's set it to 4. Let's let it run through one more time and let's see if that just like baked over the pitch thing. We'll let it run through one more time. Here we go. Listen to that. That's crazy. So it looks like the pattern wants to just be everything set to like some crazy. Let's set every pitch to 4. Let's see what's going on. That is so trippy. We might just make a new pattern completely. Everything's set to 4. So I'm not sure why it would oh, we're set to, that's why. Let's go here. Let's set this to 4 the whole time. That is crazy. I think now that we're in the right step, let's go here, go to this, get out of keyboard. I'm not sure why it wants to do this crazy pitch change. Oh, we might have programmed it in too. So strange. Let's just make a new pattern because I'm not sure what's going on there. You can just hear it completely pitch change. That's crazy. So I'm gonna just make a new pattern here. Let's go 3 and let's go to 2. And that's gonna be brand new. So we'll just start over with those drums. Let's get that click. So I guess the lesson here, unless someone knows differently, set your pitch before you start recording. There's probably something I'm missing. This is like my 3rd time using the machine. So if you do know what the issue was, throw it in the chat, or if you're watching this back, throw it in the comments. But in anyways, let's just get back to it. So we'll start, get out of pattern. Let's go here. We'll make our little click track. There we go. Let's get the drums. There we go, cool. Okay, now we gotta find, I like that snare. Oh, I think that's like way sped up, isn't it? I was like, why is it such a sped up sound? Let's go to 90, you know, I almost wanna do 104. That might be better. Yeah. There we go. Okay, and then I like that. Let's keep it a little simpler. Let's go from there, and then let's get back to the drums that we've got. And we'll just add, I'm not going to do that velocity change just yet. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so we sped it up. Let's go back here. Let's hope this stays this time. And let's see what's going on with that. Okay, so we got to extend the pattern though. So let's go here and let's go pattern, duplicate. There we go. So now we should be good. Let's get out of that. Get out of pattern. Okay, we've got it. Let's let it play. Did we go back to the pattern one? I think we did. Yeah, let's get back to that. There we go. Okay, so we got to copy this one, duplicate that. Now let's see how many steps did we make, if that's... Yeah, so we duplicate. I don't know why it went back to pattern 1, but this gives us an option to do a little more variation. We'll let it stay at 4, and we could always go back. If we hit last, we could change it to 32. Let's do that for now, because we can duplicate it once we've recorded it in. And that way we've got, that's what happened. I hit exit twice. Okay, perfect. Make sure we're on page 1. Let it run one more time. There we go. Okay, there's one note that's missing. I almost don't want to go into it, but on the second page should be, this one should be, let's see what note it's playing. I don't know why it's saying it's C sharp, because it really should not be. Let's see. That works. Perfect. Blatantly Blatant Network says, "Oh man, you got the P6 salute." I like it, but it's a bit of a learning curve. Yeah, as we're showing. I mean, I've just had it for a couple of days, and this is really just the start. I wanted to kind of do a first impression, so you can see kind of learning the machine if you're thinking about getting it. It is really cool. The sound design is awesome, but I think there's a couple. It's a little complicated with how much they've squeezed into the form factor. It takes a little bit to kind of get used to it. But here's what we've got so far with everything we're doing. I've got the SP here that I think we'll throw in soon. But now let's go. I think we can do, if we go to Shift A sharp, which is the delay, I think we can add delay and reverb. And then here we can go and change like what it's doing. So let's do... So it should have its sound there, but it doesn't seem to be. Let's go delay sync on, delay time. We've got it on a quarter. And then we'll check that. I'm going to check that everything's, because I'm not hearing it. When I stop it, it's not echoing. So we'll check that everything's up. But in the interim, let's just up. Yeah, it does not want to be doing it. So... interesting. Let's go over to reverb. We'll do that. Go to time. Make it a really big reverb. That should work. And then let's go to, is it voice? It might be voice. You get per pad filters, which is crazy. DiBiase is here. What's going on, DiBiase? Yeah, I just got this. It is a fun little sampler. I gotta learn it a bit. So I figured what better way to do it than be live. But I appreciate you hanging out. What's going on, DB? Yeah, so we've got all of that. I think we'll stick with that. And I do have, I can use the SP a little bit. But yeah, okay. I want to get those effects though. I'm not sure why the reverb is not hitting. Maybe it's on mixer actually. We don't need to auto pan because we're there. We go. That's what it is. Yeah. Let's go back to mixer. Here we go. So it should be hitting now. There it is. There it is. Okay. Okay, perfect. So we got all of that. Now let's get this bass. So we're going to chop this bass up and go from there. So let's get over to, I think I am blanking again, but I think it's over on, where's chop? I think it's actually voice. Hold up. Yeah, there it is. So for voice, we'll do 8 since we did 8 for the piano, and we'll be good to go. So let's do that. And then now if we go to that, we got to drop the pitch though. That'll work. Let's do that. All right, let's hit this. Perfect. Okay. So that's basically where I wanted to get the track. Can speed it up a little bit maybe. And I think, let's get those drums. That sounds good with that lo-fi on. Then we'll go from there. And then I want to check out those per pad filters. So let's turn on, yeah, let's put on the drums. Let's get low pass filter. I like that. Take out some of that high end. Let's get some resonance on it. And then we got to fix that hi-hat there. You got to set the type first before you start messing with the cutoff. Yeah, I like that. There we go. All right, cool. And then let's go here. Let's get a filter on 3. Because I'm thinking we'll put a high pass filter on to get some... It disappeared, don't worry, it'll come back. I'm just taking out some high end. So that the bass fits a little bit better. And then I'm pretty good with that. That sounds good to me. I think we'll go with that. We can add vinyl or compression, but we're running pretty hot into the SP, so I don't know if we'll do that. But we'll call it there from that. Let's see if there's anything else we want to do in terms of sound design. Maybe just add a little bit of high end back into that. Those drums, they're pretty, yeah, that sounds better. Okay, now I think what we'll do, there we go. Let's add a little micro timing and velocity changes to it. Oh, did that totally wrong. Hopefully this is at 127. Here we go. Let's go here. I always forget. I want to use that one when I need to use this one. We're going to drop the velocity on this kick a little bit. And let's actually go to the timing too. Put it a little early. And then we'll do that with the snare here. I'm going to go to the timing. Put it a little early too. And also over on this one right here, let's drop that velocity a lot. It's kind of more of a ghost kick. And let's take the time a little bit early. That works. And then let's take this snare and go to the timing here. Make that a little early. This one, let's put just a little late. Perfect. Okay. And if we just mute that bank so that hi-hat's gone, I want to see what other sounds we've got. Some of these are just the stock sounds. That actually almost kind of worked. I'm going to take out some of that hi-hat by using the end of this sample, just cutting it down. And then let's shut quantize off. And then let's just see what happens. And let's drop that volume down. I just want that kind of quiet in the background. Let's get the hi-hats back on. Okay, now we got some sounds. And then I've got this snare. I'm thinking let's add a couple little quiet ghost notes. We can use the steps for that. Let's go drop the volume real quiet. And let's put it on 2. Right here, maybe. Maybe one more right here. And we're gonna go in and really change the velocity. All right, let's go to there, we did that. Okay, that should work. Let's do some velocity on there. I mean, it's already pretty quiet, but I want it even quieter. I guess we'd have to go through each one though, which is not the most fun, but that's cool. We'll go here, drop it down. I want this really quiet in the mix, just kind of like right in the background. We could even mess with the timings too, but I think we'll stick with that for now. And we will do a substep. I think that could work. It could work, it might not, but we'll see. All right, we'll go there. Let's go back to page 1. Let's fix that. Drop the velocity a ton. And then it should be good. So I'm just adding these kind of ghost notes to give a little momentum to the track. You don't even hear it now, but it's there, just kind of giving a little more groove to it. I wish I had an open hi-hat. That's kind of one thing that would kind of propel it a little bit. I guess we could mess with the gate or something, but we'll leave it there. I think that's cool to me. Now, I don't really want to do a lot with the patterns today. I think when we do this jam, we'll just kind of do some pattern mutes and stuff like that. That's one thing when you start putting things on a bunch of different banks. If you want to mute things, you got to get pretty creative with how you're going to mute things. You can mute whole banks like this, but it's a little, you know, depending on which bank you're trying to mute and stuff, it gets a little complicated. But what I'm thinking is just kind of do like isolated mutes. But I do want to see something because we've got the SP here, and we might as well see what we can do with that. One thing I want to check out is the chromatic mode. So if I've got, where is it? That should work. I'm just checking volume wise. Okay, we should work. So if we hop into chromatic mode on here and shut off super filter, and we go, let's set that, I don't know if we're in major or minor, we'll have to find out, but if we hold roll, we can change what note. Now the samples were originally in D, we dropped it 4 semitones, so I think that would be A sharp, B flat. So let's give that a shot. I'm just thinking maybe minor first. Actually, easiest one, pentatonic. Let's put on poly mode. And then let's set our routings. If we go here, I don't have anything on the master, but let's put the P6 on bus 2. So that way I can set, let's say, Kodama on bus 1. And now only Kodama will be on the sample, or the one shot. But we will need to check our BPM. Yeah, project BPM is way off. So let's go, I think if we go to, what is it? Tap tempo. Let's change this to, we're in 106. So let's do that. And hopefully that should work. Okay, cool. All right, I am going to just take the volume down on this just a little bit. And then let's throw on, if we go bus 3 and 4, let's put on special sauce on the SP, cassette sim, and compressor. There we go. Always makes it sound better. If it's clipping or if it's a little loud compared to my mic, let me know. I did take the volume down a little bit. Okay, perfect. And I like to send this in a little warm, a little hot. You'll see it's red. It just seems to work for me. All right, let's check out that. Okay, that is a little clippy though. So let's see if that's, I think we'll take down, we'll tone this down a little bit, I'll tell you what. Also, that might actually be what we've got on compressor, because last time I used compressor it was doing, yeah, that's why. I had a lot of age and stuff. I was doing sound design with it. So we'll leave that like that. And okay, and I think we'll go up an octave. I want that lo-fi off of the main sound. And let's get back into chromatic mode on here. Take that volume down even more on that lead. That should work. Getting an idea. That should work. Okay, cool. So that's about kind of where I want to stop for today. This is more of a first impressions. I wanted to show you just kind of like where my head's at while using this. I also wanted to mention the poll. I can't see the full results. Let me see if I can like open it up. There we go. Okay, so interesting results. I asked the question, what's more important for you in a sampler? Workflow, sound design features, portability, or price? Workflow is at 60%. That's interesting. It makes sense. It totally makes sense if you're using, especially like a sampler as your main beat making thing. For me, now that I've got the SP, I think the main thing I'm going for is like sound design and stuff, which kind of brings me to, before we kind of jam out and stuff, let me know. I could, if you guys want to see like sampling, I can throw in the kalimba, but I don't know if we can add it, and I don't even think it's in tune. It's been a minute, but I can throw that in. But yeah, these two have a lot of similarities, but they have a lot of differences. As you could see when I was working with stuff, there's a lot more menu diving on here, whereas a lot of stuff is more apparent here. We didn't touch the Granular engine yet. I'm going to do another live stream on Saturday where I'm thinking go with ambient music making using the Granular. We'll actually sample sounds in. I need a little more time to kind of learn the nuances and stuff, but there's a lot of power in that Granular setting on there. But the per step functionality, the way you can change note, velocity, all that, each step is huge, and I wish they would add more of that to the SP. And then per pad filters, you can get a lot of really quick mixing done by just using high pass and low pass filter. DiBiase says, but portability is more for now. I'm with you, man. I like the portability. 10% now on the poll. This makes a lot of sense. That's kind of what I was getting at, DiBiase, is that I think the P6 works as like an idea station. You start there, you can do a lot of sound design. You can really get into a sample with all the attack, like the ADSR parameters, the effects, the granular stuff, and then you throw it into either another sampler, like more fleshed out, like the SP, or into a DAW, and you can build from there. So kind of what I would do from here is take this sound and really build it out on the SP or something like that. Ally says, great sketch pad. Yeah. DiBiase says, I got to tune into that stream. Yeah, it'll be Saturday at, I think, 11 a.m., not 10 a.m. Pacific. But yeah, that I'm going to do the ambient stuff because I like to kind of do both things with samplers. Samplers work for sound design, so I think we'll throw some synths and some guitar in there and see what we can do with that Granular, because I think there's a lot of potential here. I'm still learning this guy, so I think it'll be fun to kind of work on it together and all that. But yeah, like Ally says, great sketchpad. That's exactly how I see this for right now. Send that into something that's a bit more nuanced and has more things to it and stuff like that. But anyways, I think that's about where we're at. I'm still kind of getting the hang of the pattern sequencer and arrangement and stuff. We could just make patterns and play them and stuff like that. But I think we're just going to go with the pad mutes and then just throw the this on top, the SP with the sound generator. And we can go into bus 2. Let me see actually really quick. So we have bus 1 running into bus 2, so we could do effects on top. There are also effects here, so that kind of gives you a lot you can do. Got a little more chat. Let me see. Colonel Panic. It makes sense that the workflow is important, of course, but when you already got one or many samplers, new sound design options are a must. Exactly. I think what I find really cool about the P6, though, is how much they've squeezed into this for a $200, $220 sampler. Like, if you're just getting into samplers, this thing's crazy with what they throw in. I mean, there's so much to it. It just means a lot of little tiny menu diving, which gets me caught a little bit, so I'm still learning it. And thanks, DiBiase. I feel like there's a lot I'm missing still. I'm taking it kind of slowly. I started with a little like, how can I make a song or a track? And then I'm going to expand from there, like start getting into duplicating the patterns, pattern variation, all that type of stuff. But yeah, I'm just amazed with what they've thrown in here. I just wish some of that stuff was on the SP. Like the per pad filters, that would be so huge to do instead of having to do the like resampling thing and stuff like that. But maybe they can add that. They've added so much, like with sound generator and all that type of stuff. But anyways, I think with that, I'll see you guys on Saturday, 11 a.m. If you're not subscribed already, subscribe. If you've got any questions about stuff you want me to go over or check out when we're messing, I'm planning to do the Granular, like ambient type of stuff. But if there's anything you think I should check out, I've gotten a lot of questions on Threads and Twitter. So I'll cover all those questions, and then we'll do some Granular ambient sound design on Saturday. So yeah, we'll do that. And just throw them in the comments if you've got questions, and I'll get to them. But yeah, that pattern exploration and then more per step randomization is crazy. So that's something else I want to get into as well. And if anybody's looking to grab the P6, I do have a link in the description if you want to help support the channel. And then I'm going to throw all those samples that I made into the Solar Sailor tier. If you want to join the channel members, you get exclusive live streams and all the samples we make and stuff like that. Let's see what we got. Okay, so we've got our main sounds. We've got our main sounds. Okay, so one thing I'm hearing is it sounds like there is no kick on I'm gonna... Oh, is it that one? There we go. It's like something's missing. Dustin Good back on the MIDI real quick. Dustin Good says you get 3 different channels for the P6, one for all pads just triggering, one for keyboard chromatic for the selected pad, and one for granular. Huh. Okay. So is that just MIDI channels 1 through 3 then? That's crazy. Yeah, this thing, it's like an ocean of complexity. I don't know how else to describe it. I feel like it's gonna take a long time to kind of learn all the ins and outs of what it can do, but it is easy to get started with it, which I love. Like, it's nice that you can just get started making beats and stuff, but then you can just learn so much about it. Similar to the SP, but in a much smaller form factor. Okay, so we cleaned up that. Okay, so we've got that little click is what? Here. Okay. So I'm gonna mute that, and then let's go. Okay, so the hi-hat's there. I really wish I would have considered my structure for the track before I started doing all these mutes. But that's okay. So okay, so that's what we'll do, and then let's go here. There's our track. Let me just change what Kodama's doing. Now, I have not tried playing these two together, so this is going to be a fun little experiment. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, that's really good to know, though, Dustin. So Dustin says you can set it to what you want regarding which MIDI channel. That's awesome. All right, that's definitely something we're going to have to look out for in the future. And DiBiase, are you going to do that on a live stream maybe? That would be cool to see. But yeah, okay, so we got the lead. We've got our idea. I'm just listening kind of through. Yeah, that could work. Okay. Okay, I've got an idea. I think that'll work for like a quick idea flow. What I'd really like to do is kind of pattern everything out or send this into the SP and sequence it there, but I don't have much time. I got to get back to watching my 1-year-old son, but I think we'll just do a quick little jam out. I appreciate everybody hanging out. This was awesome. Like I said, if you want these samples, they'll go up for channel members. It's a great way to help support the channel. Just hanging out is more than enough, though, and I'll be back on Saturday to do some granular sampling. We'll try a bunch of different stuff. This granular's really interesting, and like I said, for a little sampler like this, it's crazy. There's so much in here. But this is kind of just my first impressions. If there's anything I missed or you think I should check out, leave it in the comments. Leave your questions if you want me to cover anything for Saturday in the comments or on my socials, and I'll add them all. We're going to try and do this jam. Now, this could go horribly wrong. This is my first time doing like a jam with the mutes and then trying to add the SP on top. We'll see how it goes. We do have bus 2 open, though, so let's check. Yeah, I want the LFO off. I think we'll start with that. And mute just A, and then where's that little... Okay, that's muted, so I gotta try to remember to turn that back on. But appreciate you hanging out, and thanks for hanging around for the jam, and then I'll see you on Saturday. All right, not bad for a first jam. Had to throw in the stopper. Try not to use the effects looper as much, but I don't even think I could get to it with trying to bounce around all that stuff. So yeah, if you've just got the P6, try out this workflow. Just take some samples, chop them up, sequence them, and then build off of that, because there's a lot more you can do with this, as we'll get into on Saturday. And again, thanks everybody for hanging out. Snoozer says, nice stream. Well, thanks, Snoozer. DiBiase says, peace, have a good one. Yeah, thanks, DiBiase. Appreciate you hanging out, man. It's awesome seeing you here. I'm sorry I can't always get to those sample flips. I try to, but I have like no time with watching my son. So I'm trying to get on those, but it takes some time to get there. But I will do one soon. And DiBiase said it, and I appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button. It does help a ton. And check out his channel. He's got some amazing live streams and just knowledge on all things samplers. But yeah, until next time, thanks for watching.